I would now like to ask the entire panel of critics to come on stage and for Mark Shenton to step forward and present a very special panel award for the achievements of one particular special man.
Louise is Simon Kello's understudy today. I'm Roger Foster's because he was supposed to present this. He's stuck in Manchester, so this is his citation. It's too good to improve on, so I'm going to just read his citation. The recipient of the Offies Special Achievement Award is this year celebrating 4 decades of producing and directing, which makes him the longest-serving artistic director in the UK. He is one of the fringe pioneers of the late 60s and early 70s who were creating theatres in unconventional spaces when there was no Almeida or Donmar. The Finborough was just Knowles Court Boozer, the Tricycle hadn't been built yet, the King's Head, the Bush, the Young Vic had just opened, and many of today's off-West-Enders weren't even born. He opened his original theatre above the Orange Tree pub in Richmond on New Year's Eve 1971. 20 years later, he moved across the road to a new purpose-built theatre, which is now London's only full-time professional theatre in the round. As well as rediscovering overlooked or forgotten plays from the past, his theatre has nurtured many playwrights, including James Saunders, David Cregan, David Lewis and Martin Crimp, and he's enjoyed a long association with the late former Czech President Václav Havel, putting on the first Havel play in 1977 and going on to produce 12 of his plays, including many British premieres. Graduates of his theatre's trainee director scheme include Dominic Hill, now artistic director of the Glasgow Cits, Tim Sheeder, now at the Open Air Theatre Regent's Park, Sean Holmes, now at Lyric Hammersmith, and Rachel Kavanagh, of course, previously at Birmingham Rep, and Henry Bell, who was one of our nominees today for Best Director for a play at the Orange Tree. 40 years on, his little theatre is still a local venue, but with a vast London-wide reach and extensive international connections. As the UK's longest-serving theatre critic Michael Billington once dubbed it, the Orange Tree is a pocket-sized national theatre. So the Special Achievement Award goes to the man who made the Orange Tree Theatre blossom and bear so much fruit, artistic director Sam Walters.
Thank you. Gosh. Thank you very much indeed. I'm delighted and I'm very honoured. It just shows what can happen if you hang around for long enough. The recipient, though, of any award, of course, is only getting it because of the work of many other people, and my 2 senior colleagues who are here today are my associate director and colleague, Oriel Smith, who's been a part of the Orange Tree Theatre throughout its 40 years, both as an actress and a director. And this belongs to her as much as it does to me, and also my administrative director and colleague of 30 years, Gillian Thorpe, who does all the real work, the nasty work, the paperwork, the computer work, and keeps the theatre going. So, of course, does this belong to all the actors, and there are hundreds of them who over 40 years have contributed to the Orange Tree Theatre. But particularly, I always think, and I'm thinking this year, of those mainly actors who in the first few years of the Orange Tree's existence worked for nothing, of course, and gave their talent and their enthusiasm to allow something to begin that was able to grow. So this belongs, of course, to all of them. When I was a young man at the end of the I was told I could have about 3 minutes, I think, more than 15 seconds. When I was a young man at the end of the 1950s and the beginning of the 1960s, there were, I suppose, only 3 what we would call off-West-End theatres. There was the Old Vic, where you went to see your Shakespeare. There was the Royal Court, of course, which had begun under George Devine to thrive from 1956 onwards. And there was this theatre, the Theatre Royal Stratford East. This was my local theatre. I first came to it in 1956, and the productions of Joan Littlewood and the company here were an inspiration to me and, of course, to many others. So it is an enormous honour to get this award, and particularly to get it in this wonderful theatre, and to be standing on this stage for the first time. So thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Thank you.